this is what a lot of you have been waiting for. This is my diesel heater. So yeah, in this video I'm going to be installing a diesel heater. There are so many videos online of how to install these, so this will be my one. So let's go through the box and see what we got. Hello everyone, so I've got a few boxes to show you. First thing I'm going to try is this. I've been given a lens to try out for my camera. So you're watching me through my GoPro right now. Incidentally, I still need a microphone for it because the audio is not good on a standard GoPro, is it? But for my vlogging camera, which is a Sony A6000, I've got a standard lens on it, but I bought the gun zoom mic for it, the Sony Gun zoom mic. So yeah, this is my standard vlogging camera. It's a really good camera. It was a present bought for me by my wife. But I've just been given a lens to try out. So this is the standard 16 to 50 mil. Standard 16 to 50 lens. This is a much wider lens. Look, I don't know anything about lenses, okay? I don't know anything about photography yet. But I want to learn. It's huge, this. Massive. So let's try this out. Firstly, let me do a little bit to camera with this lens. Okay, this is a test. Just to see, I think this new lens I've got is a bit wider, so let's go back and let's try out the other lens now. Now this isn't autofocus, this one. So it's also got all the red lines when something's in focus, so I don't think this is for filmography at all, but it's huge. Looking down the barrel of this, it's much bigger than what I've got. Now I've no way of knowing if this is in focus, because my viewing screen on the A6000 doesn't flip all the way around, which is quite annoying. Yeah, I can already see that it's much wider. But if it's not got autofocus on it, how can I use it for vlogging? It's pretty good quality though. Right, so that's that. That's the new lens that I've been given to try out. Who's gonna guess what it is first? Any idea? Yep, a lot of you would know what it is already. That is a Jerrycan holder. I'm going to mount it on the back door of my van. Going for that kind of expedition look. Carry around a load of spare diesel for when I'm doing my travels. Or if I need it for my diesel heater. So, that leads me to this other box, which is, yes, you've guessed it, a 20 litre steel jerrycan. Right, let's see if it fits. So that will sit in there. Oh, that's a snug fit. Oh, that's brilliant. So there's a little cap on this strap here, which covers over the cap of the jerrycan, so no one can steal your fuel. And there's a little spot for a padlock to go. So yeah, I'm going to mount that to the back doors of my van. I think it'll look pretty cool. Which way though? Probably that way. First things first is a fuel can. 10-litre jerry can for the diesel. You can tap into the diesel tank of the van itself, but I don't want to do that. Inside, we've got the little grommet thing that's going to go. You have to drill a hole in this, so that's going to stick out there, I think. We've got 2 markers from where you can have the outlet of your fuel. I'm probably going to use this one on the side. Yep. Let's bring this over here. So then we've got this. Oh my goodness, this is a huge box of bits. Right, let's get this out. Operating instructions. That's it. This looks like an exhaust pipe. Some 2 different size ductings. One will be for the air intake, and one will be for the induction air intake. Aha! This is a silencer exhaust box. You can get larger ones of these to make the the heater even more quiet. We'll see how I go with that. Okay, so this is an outlet. You can have this in your van somewhere. Yep, you can twist this so you can guide the air into the van, in which direction you want. It all smells new. I love the new smell stuff. Okay, so that looks like fuel line. Yep, and you got a load of zip ties in here. The filter, it's the air filter for the induction side of things. I'll show you what I mean in a minute, because you have 2 air intakes for these heaters. That is a fuel pump. You have to mount this at a 45-degree angle, I think. And people say that if you zip tie it up and hang it, the ticking is quite a lot quieter. So we'll see how things go. Okay, we've got a fuel filter, a whole load of Jubilee clips, a load of self-tapping screws, a load of bolts. Okay. Oh, another Jubilee clip, an L bracket. Okay. I think these are just a power cable, so it's literally plug and play. I'll show you the machine in a minute. There's a fuse holder in there as well. Load more zip ties. What is this? Ooh, this is my one. That's the LCD display. That's the controller unit. And my one, some of them, not all of them do, but mine came with a key fob, so you can control it remotely. So that's pretty exciting. I could be in the house, switch it on from indoors if it was looking a bit icy out there. That's quite cool actually. So when I leave for work in the morning, if I got up like, I don't know, half an hour early, the alarm wakes off. I'll just lean over to my bedside table, switch this on, it switches the heater on in the van. So by the time I get to the van, it's nice and warm. That's very cool. This is all theoretical, but it should work. It should be okay. And the last thing I've got in this box is this, which is the base mounting plate. I'm glad I got that. Not every kit comes with that. So let's put all this stuff back and let's open up the main heater. Oh, that's heavy. Okay. Dusty. Oh, that's actually quite heavy. Alright, so So on the base, you've got this silicone or rubber seal. So that's the base plate. So you mount this on the floor of the van, I think, and then sit this on it. Some people raise these up so they're not flat on the floor, but I don't see the point of that really. They're designed everything to come out the bottom, the fuel and the induction and the exhaust. They were designed to sit like that to go out the bottom of the van. So why do people raise them up? I don't know. So this is for the air intake. So yeah, alright, I think one of these is the exhaust, one of these is the induction air intake. This one here is the fuel. This is where the air, it draws the air through here and gets pushed out of here, and this is where your hot air comes from. There it is. That is my heater. I think they're about 150 quid. This is the 5 kilowatt one. So my diesel heater is going to be mounted underneath this sofa that I'm sat on. I wasn't intending to split the air intake to different parts of the van, but a lot of people have told me it's a good idea because they can get quite hot. So if you split it, you know, I don't think I need to in terms of warming up the van. It's not a huge space, so if I just had one here, just warming up, sending air up this way. But I may do, as I've got the duct in, I don't have a T-piece or a Y-piece to split it. That didn't come with the kit. But I could get one, that wouldn't be too difficult. And another bit of conduit, I could have either side of the sofa. That's not a bad idea actually. So the heater, I'm hoping, is going to be mounted right on this side of the sofa, behind the driver's seat, which is probably out of shot. Just down here. So I could send a bit of conduit along in the sofa and come out over here by the wardrobe, heating out over there. And the other one, I could sort of angle it so it goes towards the front of the van, towards the cab. So I'd heat there and I'd heat there. That might be a nice way of doing it. So yeah, I'm hoping to install it down here, and I'm hoping to do that next week. Ali, red VW behind, just had her diesel heater fitted. Just tried it out for the first time and it works, so she's well happy. So we're going to try out my heater tomorrow. Oh, I hope my heater goes alright. Just really want it to work. It's too hot now anyway, so we don't need it. Don't need it now, but oh well. So it was cold last night. So looking forward to getting that heater fitted today. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is to drill a hole. So this is the location for my heater, behind the driver's seat. So I'm going to have to cut a hole out of my floor because I'm not very good at pre-planning. So that's what I'm going to do now. So that's the kind of position it's going to sit in. But I've got to take out more flooring. This is why it pays to pre-plan. Don't do it like me.
One. Yep.
So we've cut 3 holes. One for the exhaust, one for the combustion, and one for the fuel line. We're going to use a bit of gas pipe as a bit of conduit, so it, you know, protects the cable. Then need a little straight. Oh, so you're gonna have to excuse the mess of the van. I have just picked up a massive awning, which nearly goes the length of my van. So that'll be in a future video, but yeah, so it's a real mess in here. Just got back from a camping at a self-build meet. Anyway, excuse the mess, but the heater is underneath this sofa. It's down in this corner. The wiring, I still need to sort out where it's all gonna live. there'll be a sheet of ply here or something with a vent on it, so that'll be flush and hidden. This is the controller unit for the heater, and I'm thinking about mounting that up here somewhere, but this light I don't think switches off at all, so it's pretty good though. It's not too bright, you can only see it from directly in front, so I don't think it will affect people who are trying to sleep in here. But yeah, it all works. Let me see if I can do a quick run through in one take, and this is about take 7. Okay. We drilled 4 holes in the floor of this van. One for the exhaust, one for the combustion air intake, one for the fuel line, and if you want the fuel pump mounted on the outside of the van, you drill a hole for the electrical wire to power the fuel pump. Drill the 4 holes, you'll see where they are. You can figure that bit out. Paint the holes that you've cut. Paint the holes so they don't go rusty. Then you want to mount all the exhaust, all the pipes to the heater outside the van. It's a lot easier to do it that way. And then you just have to thread all the pipes and cables through the holes you've drilled. Mount your heater in place, and then get underneath the van. This is difficult to film. Okay, so let me bring you over here. This is the underside of the van. Can you see the 2 conduits either side? One to protect the fuel line, one to protect an electrical cable. Yeah, that's gas pipe that we used. You can probably also see a bit of black hammerite that I used to paint the bare metal with. So let's follow these pipes and I'll show you where they go. This black one is the combustion for the air. That goes to that air filter over there towards the front of the van. This silver one is the exhaust, which goes to this back box, which, as you can see, is next to the back box for the van exhaust. This green line is the fuel line, which goes to this fuel pump, which is there. And that black cable is the power for the fuel pump. You want to mount the combustion air intake towards the front of the van, and you want to mount the exhaust the other side of the van, towards the back of the van. The electrical cable for the pump just clipped onto the pump. The pump for me is right below, right under the van, right close to the heater. Mount the pump on a 35 or 45 degree angle, because that's how it works. It needs to be like that to work. And then it's the fuel line. The fuel source is right by the sliding door, the other side of the van, for ease of filling up at a petrol station. So the fuel line gets, you find a way underneath the van, zip tying it or using clips to, you know, get it to the other side of the van. And then you've got to drill another hole for the pipe to come up through. So we did that, painted it, chucked it on the fuel. Missed a step. You need a fuel filter. This is what we did. This is exactly what Darren and I did. We put the fuel line straight onto the tank and filled it up, and then we're like, oh, we forgot to put a filter on. So yeah, we had to drain the water, drain the diesel tank, and put the fuel filter on. So that our fuel filter is just underneath the van, the side of the diesel tank and the sliding door. I'll show you that now. Yeah, and then straight to the diesel tank, and then that's it. So this is the fuel tank. It's sat on a block of wood, and if you see through there, the fuel line goes through the floor of the van. Eventually I'm going to put a little tap here, so it cuts it off in case I ever need to get the tank out. This is my kitchen side. So I don't know whether this will be, this probably will just have a cupboard door on it, but you can access it from out the front as well. So it's sat on a block of wood, but it's also screwed into this wall through 3 holes. Being quite paranoid, I may put a bungee around it as well, just in case you braked heavily or crashed. You know, I don't know. I hope I've covered the installation. I'm sorry I couldn't film step by step, but I was getting a help from a few guys. Massive thank you to Darren, who spent all day pretty much working on this heater with me. Part of me wanted to try it on my own, but it's just a big job and I don't have all the proper tools, so it was nice to get a hand. But he didn't just do it for me, he helped me to do it, he guided me through jobs and things, so I'm confident now that I could do one in the future by myself. Just need to buy the circular hole cutters, few bits and pieces. Yeah, I reckon I could fit one of these myself now. They're really not, it's really not that difficult. As long as you've got the tools, the hole cutters and a few bits and pieces, it's plug and play, and touch wood, I won't get any issues. Also came with a controller, turn it on and off, and up and control the temperature up and down with the temperature. Worked first time, didn't have to program it. That's not common. You sometimes have to figure out how to program it. And I spent my first night with the heater on in the van, and oh my goodness, was it amazing. Just to have heat, it just changes everything. It makes it so much easier to live here. You're not cold in bed, or you're not cold trying to get dressed down here because it's, got no heat, and it's the idea of living in a van will seem tough until you've got one of these heaters fitted, and it just makes it so nice. So yeah, apologise, I couldn't film the whole thing. It was just, it's a lot of effort anyway. Filming things, it takes 3 times as long trying to film everything. So I hope that video covered the installation. Just need to do all the repositioning of the wires, and that will be in the next video. The next video I'm going to run through how to work the thing, because it's quite complicated. There are no instructions on how to sort of prime the fuel, and how to set the time and the timers, because they've got a couple of different timers on here, and I want to figure it all out and give it a good try before I start running through what I know so far with you. So hope you enjoyed this video. It was hard to film, it's hard to make that one. I don't know how it's going to look. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, you know the drill. See you in the next one.